formulas of mensuration in 2D shapes and 3D shapes as well. I have seen many students, they always कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. दे यूज टू से कि मैम कब कौन सा फॉर्मूला यूज करें, इतने सारे फॉर्मूले हैं इन दिस चैप्टर, लाइक सम फॉर्मूलाज आर फ्रॉम 2D शेप एंड सम आर फ्रॉम द 3D शेप्स. सो कब सरफेस एरिया कैलकुलेट करना है एंड कब हमें एरिया कैलकुलेट करना है, दे ऑलवेज गेट कंफ्यूज. सो इफ यू वॉच दिस वीडियो डेफिनेटली यू विल गेट अ क्लियर अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन 2D and 3D shapes and when you need to use what kind of formula, and I'll give you all the formula in the complete video. Okay, without any delay I will start my video. First I will tell you what is the difference between the 2D and the 3D shapes. So as we all know that like your paper, pen, board, triangle, rectangle, they have just two dimension, length and breadth. Definitely they are 2D shapes because they have only two dimensions, right? So for the 2D shape we calculate perimeter and area. So perimeter and area is calculated only for the 2D shapes, right? And what about volume and surface area? And for the 3D shapes, just like your cube, cuboid and everything, we have three dimension, like length, breadth and height. If you have three dimension, definitely they will have the capacity or they will have some content, some volume in it. So in this case we used to calculate the volume and the surface area. The surface area we use to calculate because 3D shapes have multiple surfaces. Like in cube you have 6 surfaces, right? Similarly in the cylinder and every other 3D shapes you can have multiple surfaces. So at that time you need to calculate different area of the different surfaces. So in surface area we have two terms, TSA and CSA. That means total surface area and the curved surface area. That I will explain in the next topic, 3D shapes. Okay, so we will start with the 2D shapes. As we all know, we all know from the class 3rd and 4th, I think start हो जाता है class में. Class 4th से ही we start studying triangle and all. So in triangle we, according to the sides, if we'll talk about, we know they are scalene triangle, isosceles triangle and equilateral triangle. So we can calculate the area and perimeter. Definitely area and perimeter for the 2D shapes. The perimeter is very simple. We all know that the perimeter is nothing but the boundary. If you have any kind of 2D shape, you can calculate the perimeter because perimeter is just you are adding the boundary and you will get the perimeter. So I think it is not at all difficult and we do not have any fixed formula for that. For specific triangles, we can say that it is a sum of all sides of, and for a square you can say 4 into side. But perimeter is just the boundary. What is perimeter? Perimeter is just you can add the boundary, you will get the perimeter. So I'll go for the area. So what is the area of the triangle? We all know that it is 1/2 into base into height. What is base and what is height? If I'm taking the triangle ABC, if this side CB is the base, then this altitude I'm drawing AM will be the height. So in this triangle, base can be AC. If the AC is the base, then this BN can be the height. Accordingly, you can take it AB as a base. If you will take AB as a base, then definitely this altitude is going to be the height. So whatever the base and height you are taking, the area of triangle will remain same. So area of triangle is nothing but the 1/2 into base into height. And this formula can be used in any kind of triangle, either it is equilateral, scalene, whenever the base and height are given. But there are sometimes the base and height are not given. So at that time, we have some specific formula and definitely they are derived from this formula only. So what is the area of the equilateral triangle? For the equilateral triangle, we have the area because in the equilateral triangle all the sides are equal and all the angles are also 60-60. So what will be the area? √3/4 side square. And definitely this formula is derived from this formula only because we can calculate the height of the equilateral triangle by the Pythagoras, and we can definitely calculate 1/2 into base into height. We will get the same formula. But this time I'm just giving you the formula. Area of the equilateral triangle, you must remember that it is √3/4 and side square, and height of the equilateral triangle, because numerical में questions में होता क्या है, हमें directly इसको use करना होता है. At that time we must know the formula. We are not going to use the Pythagoras every time and that takes so much time. So we must know the formula also. So formula is definitely, I have told you that this is a by 2, and you can calculate this height. Height of the equilateral is root 3 by 2 into side. You must know this formula also. So area of the equilateral triangle is root 3 by 4 side square. So the last, you can say, one other triangle we have is the scalene triangle. So scalene triangle क्या होता है? If we have all sides are different in a triangle, then it is called a scalene triangle. In the scalene triangle, we have a specific formula to calculate the area. That is the Heron's formula. That is the Heron's formula. So what is Heron's formula? This is a special formula. In this, we use to calculate the semi-perimeter. You know, perimeter is the sum of all sides. If all the sides are A, B, C, and they all are different, in that case, you can calculate A plus B plus C upon 2. This will be the semi-perimeter. So if you have calculated the semi-perimeter, you can calculate the area by using under root of S into S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. This will simply give you the area of the scalene triangle. I think this is all about triangles. You can calculate area of the any triangle. If it is right angle triangle, definitely in that case, this is the base and this side becomes the height. This is base and this is height. Okay, so this is all about triangle. And after that, we all know that what is a square. A square have all equal sides and it has 4 sides, and the area is side into side. I don't think I need to take this, because the area of this square is nothing but the side into side, and the perimeter of the square is 4 into side, simply because if you add A plus A plus A, it will become 4 times A. So this is simple. And in the rectangle, we all know what is this is length, breadth. This is again length and breadth. If you calculate the area simply, so length into breadth, we all know. And the perimeter of the rectangle is twice of L plus B. Definitely 2 sides are L and 2 are B. Definitely you will add 2L plus 2B will be there. So the perimeter is like this, just sum of all sides. Okay, that is your just boundary. And what about parallelogram? Parallelogram is what? In which opposite sides are parallel and equal, right? If this is a parallelogram A, B, C, D, in this opposite sides are parallel and equal, you can calculate the area of the parallelogram just by having your multiplying base into height, right? This is your base and height can be outside. Height is nothing but the altitude you just draw from the vertex, that is the height. So height, if you will take from this side, because 2 parallel sides have same height, right? So if the distance between the parallel sides is given, you can calculate is just from base into height. You can take this side as a base and again you can calculate the height, right? Simple formula is just base into height. And after that we have the rhombus. What is rhombus? Rhombus is nothing but the parallelogram having all sides equal. If all sides of the parallelogram becomes equal, it become a rhombus. Even I can say square is also a rhombus. Rhombus have some special properties, like it is definitely a parallelogram, all sides are equal, but it have perpendicular diagonals. It have perpendicular diagonals. So we have another formula for the area of the rhombus is 1 by 2 into d1 into d2. What is d1 and d2? D1 is the your diagonal, first diagonal of the rhombus, and d2 is the second diagonal of the rhombus. And definitely we can calculate the area from base into height also, as it is a parallelogram also. So we can have 2 formulas for the area of the rhombus. One more thing I just left in this rectangle, you can also write it down, that area of this square we know, perimeter of this square we know, but we must know the diagonal of the square. This is very simple. We can calculate it from the Pythagoras, under root of a square plus a square. That will be root 2a square, just it will be root 2 times side. Simply you can calculate the diagonal, right? And in this also you can calculate the diagonal of the rectangle also by using Pythagoras, because in the square and rectangle we have this angle 90 degree, and whenever the angle is 90 degree, Pythagoras we can use. That's what. Okay, so diagonal of the rectangle will be under root of L square plus B square. This is the diagonal of the rectangle, right? So I think parallelogram and rhombus is done. After that we can move for the trapezium. So what is trapezium? Trapezium is like this kind of shape in which one pair of opposite side is parallel and one pair is non-parallel. So in this I can say this AB is parallel to DC, but this side is non-parallel sides. So what is the area of the trapezium? It is very simple. Area of trapezium is 1 by 2 into, if I'm taking this side as A and this side as B, and the height, height means the distance between two parallel sides is known as the height. So height is this. Okay, so area of trapezium will be 1 by 2 into sum of parallel sides into height. Okay, this is the area of the trapezium. And the next one, and I think you all know that the isosceles trapezium. What is isosceles trapezium? When these two non-parallel sides will be equal, then definitely it will be the isosceles trapezium, and this angle will be equal to this. And that is a different case when we use in geometry. And after that we have the circle. Circle is this, you all know, this is the center and this is your radius. We all know the area of the circle is very, very simple, and it is pi r square. It is pi r square, and the circumference is the perimeter of the circle. Circumference is boundary. So what is the perimeter of the, or you can say circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. So some interesting thing here is the pi. What is pi? The pi was derived from a mathematician. He just took any circle, any kind of circle, any radius of the circle, different circle, big circle, this circle, the different circle he was taking, and he was just measuring the boundary, and after that he was dividing the boundary with the diameter. So whenever he was dividing the boundary, that means circumference, with the diameter, he was getting a constant value. He was amazed that what is happening, that if I'm dividing any kind of circle, any radius circle, I'm getting the same value if I'm dividing the circumference with the diameter. That fixed value is known as pi, and pi is your irrational number. It is neither terminating nor repeating decimal. We take its value as 222 by 7 or 3.14, but this value is pi. You can simply see this just by looking at this. Just circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, and diameter is definitely 2r. So if you will divide it, you will get pi. So pi is a constant which was derived by, and this was very, very interesting, right? And after that we have ring. So if you know the formula for the area of the circle, definitely you know the area of the ring also. Ring is what? Ring is like this, area of this region. If you have the outer radius capital R and the inner radius small r, right? In that case, you can calculate the area of the remaining portion, ring. So area of the ring is pi r square minus r square. I have just taken pi as common because outer area is pi capital R square and the inner area is pi small r square, as you can just subtract it. So calculation will become easier if you take pi as a common, right? So other areas are also there in the case of the circle. If you say area of the sector and area of the segment, in the class 9th, 10th, they used to ask in the board exams that what is the area of the sector and what is the area of the segment. So what is a sector? It is just like a pizza piece. I can simply say that if it OAB, this is your sector. I will call it minor sector because if you divide your circle by the radius, you will get simply your sector, and this is definitely the major sector. So I will call it minor sector, and this one is your major sector. Simple. So what is the area of this? I know the area of the triangle, area of the circle, everything, but what will be the area of the sector? So it is very simple. If you know the angle, this, if suppose this angle is 60 degree, let this angle is 60 degree. So what will be the area of this portion? That will be, what it will be? Simply, you know the area of the circle, that is pi r square. Just multiply the area of the circle with this fraction. What fraction is? 60 degree upon the complete angle. We all know what is complete angle. Complete angle is 360 degree. So just divide it with 360 degree. So simply take a fraction of the angle divided by the complete angle into pi r square. You will get the area of the sector. So I'll just write the formula of the sector as area of sector is equal to, so I'm not talking about the ring this time, I'm just talking about the area of the sector. So area of the sector is pi r square into theta upon 360 degree. So what is theta? Theta is your this angle. So theta upon 360 से अगर आप multiply कर दोगे circle के area को, you will get the area of the sector. Simple. Similarly, you can also find out the area of the segment. I think you must know that what is the segment. What is segment? In a circle, if I'll divide the circle by a chord, you know what is chord? If this line segment which touch the circle, cut the circle at 2 points, this line is called a chord. And we all know diameter is the biggest chord which divide the circle into 2 equal parts. So this is your chord, and this is definitely a segment. So this segment is called minor segment, and upper side is called major segment. So this one is having the small area, so I can call it minor segment, and this one is the major segment. So how I can find the area of the segment? Simple. It's really simple, because we know if I will write center here and I will make here a triangle. So I have already explained the area of the sector. If I will subtract the area of the sector and area of the triangle OAB, then अगर sector में से अगर आप triangle का area subtract कर दोगे, then definitely you will get the area of the segment. So in class 10th, usually in CBSE class, and 9th also somewhere in ICSE, we use the kind of segment area. So I think this is all about 2D shapes.